Young people, what are you going to do when the enemy stares you in the face and offers you a taste of peer pressure? I know that you encounter many tests and trials, but you have to stand. Stand like the Joshua generation that you are, victoriously, knowing eventually you will be the kings and queens of a Joshua seed. You will be the kings and queens of a Joshua. What you gonna do when you slide to the left, turn to the right? What you gonna do when you slide to the right, turn to the left? What you gonna do when you slide to the left, turn to the right? What you gonna do when you slide to the right, turn to the left?
Peer pressure, it'll touch you, but how you gonna stand alone or fall like a sucker? Smoke weed like a buster and drop out of school with your homeboy. So you can call yourself a hustler, not a dog, stay in school. Do what you gotta do. Think about your future, don't hang with the one that use you, abuse you. What you gonna do? Good pressure, good pressure.
What you gonna do when you slide to the left, turn to the right? What you gonna do when you slide to the right, turn to the left? What you gonna do when you slide to the left, turn to the right? What you gonna do when you slide to the right, turn to the left?
When your homeboy asks you to smoke weed, look him dead in the eye, tell him that what you need. You got a bigger dream, you want to succeed. You ain't trying to be mean, but you trying to stay clean. Don't listen to these fools out here. I'm telling you, dog, we got rules out here. I know you ain't probably trying to hear this, but when it comes to the pressure, I got so much experience. Good pressure.
Girl, become that woman, keep yourself curled. Boy, become that man, proudly paving the way. Spring into prosperity, study to show thyself approved, knowing that he, God, will be with you consecutively. What you gonna do when you slide to the left, turn to the right? What you gonna do when you slide to the right, turn to the left? What you gonna do when you slide to the left, turn to the right? What you gonna do when you slide to the right?
Hey, what's up? Well, you goodness, bro.
A young Christian with a mission. Break down those barriers. Tear down those walls. Stand tall. You are the chosen generation. Blessed among the nations. Shake up your faith. Don't keep making the same mistakes. It's only through wisdom the victory begins. When you can say no. No to the failures that await at peer pressure's door. Juggling those negative thoughts no more. Stand like the Joshua generation that you are. Victoriously, knowing eventually you will be the kings and queens of a Joshua seed. Knowing eventually you will. Hi everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I see you guys are on early. If you could go ahead, for those who are following us, if you could go ahead and put where you're following us from, if you're tuning in from Florida, or if you are tuning in from Atlanta. I know we had some people from Atlanta before. If you are tuning in from Houston, where it is super cold, oh my goodness, we are in an Arctic freeze. So hopefully we'll be okay, or I'll be taking a flight out. So if you can go ahead and sign in. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started shortly. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Feel free to tag someone and share. If you know teenagers that needs to talk about mental health, please go ahead and tag them in this. It's going to be a great night. We're going to be talking about mental health and why teens run to social media to vent. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Let us know where you are tuning in live from. Thank you guys for joining us. We really do appreciate it. I'm just going to go ahead and tag a few more people, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So everyone basically saw the flyer that I sent out. Please go ahead and come on in. Thank you to our guests who are just showing their face. I'll give you the cue as to when to come in. I'm so happy that the both of you are here. Come on in, guys. Hi, everyone. Thank you. I see Miami is in the house.
All right. Looks like a lot of people from Houston in the house. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for signing in. We appreciate it. Give us some hearts. Feel free to leave some comments. Feel free to like and share. Thank you for the hearts already. We are super excited about our main guest, Caron Wade, which is my nephew. I'm so very proud of him, and I'm looking forward to him coming on and sharing some words of wisdom from a teenage slash young adult perspective. He's still my baby. He's my baby number 2, y'all. So you guys will get a chance to listen to this baby slash young man of mine. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for all of the hearts. We need to talk about it. Somebody said, yes, we do. We absolutely need to talk about it. And I can only talk about it from my perspective, but you know, I'm a little bit older, so I have somewhat of a clue why teens run to social media to vent, but I'd rather you guys hear it out of the horse's mouth. And so I'm gonna go ahead and ask my wonderful nephew to go ahead and come on at this point, and then Lumir, we're gonna chime you in afterwards. Thank you for being on too. So Caron, if you can just come on so that we can get started. Hi, Mr. Caron Wade. Can you hear me?
Is my camera working?
Hey, Vaughn.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Oh my God, look at your hair. If only I could get my hair to grow. Your mom says I need to stop cutting it. Do you think that's it? Or
Yeah.
do you think I'll ever let it grow to that extent?
I stopped cutting my hair after a while. I just let it grow.
Oh, do you think I need to do the same thing? And will I ever get to the length you are in?
Yeah, you should just let it grow. It's always best to just let it grow.
Best to let it grow. But
Oh,
you've always had healthy hair. I have too, but I don't know if I have the patience to let it grow out. But how are you, nephew of mine?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good? How's college?
College good.
College is good. All right. How's those grades?
You know, school just started, but the grade is good so far.
Uh-oh. Okay, so those grades are good so far. So why don't you just tell the people a little bit about yourself? They know that you are my baby number 2. And who's my baby number 1?
Caron.
You're no number 1. You're number 2.
Caron.
You're 1 and 2?
No, y'all. Michael too.
Who's baby number 1?
Me.
You? Okay, well, there you have it. You'll be baby number 1 and 2 until Michael comes on next week, and I'm sure he'll claim the number 1 status. So why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody who you are and where you are. Say hi to the people. Let them know what you're doing and what you're majoring in.
My name is Caron Wade. I'm majoring in sports science, like, you know, medical science. So, and like the people in here, they pretty much know me. So I'm up in Tallahassee, you know, just in college right now, a sophomore. And that's
you're filming from your apartment, because y'all ain't staying in a dormitory. Yeah, y'all live in La Vida Loca over there.
Yeah, it's off campus.
Okay, good. So you are majoring in, you changed your major?
No, it's still sports medicine.
Okay, so it is sports medicine, and then you plan on doing a master's with that?
Yeah, it might be like
eventually. You are? Okay, good. Well, so we want to talk about mental health, and we want to share with the people how many levels of mental health there is, and then we mainly want to talk about why teens run to social media in order to vent. And so what do you know about mental health, Caron? What do you know about mental health?
Like mental health, like what do I know? Like it's just like, you know, it's important, especially
now, I'm about to be in auntie mode in a minute. Stop rocking back and forth in that chair. Sit up so I can see your face. Okay, mental health is what now?
Mental health, you know, it's important, especially for like, you know, teens in like today's generation and, you know, COVID and everything going on. Mental health is important. So like from what I know and like, you know, from experiences, you know.
Okay, so Yeah. From your experiences and things of that sort. Okay. So yeah, mental health includes everything that's emotional, everything that's psychological, and everything that has to do with your social well-being. Whether you're an introvert, whether you're a person that could be depressed, whether you turn to drugs, whether you solve your problems through sex and drugs. So all of that plays a part in our mental health and well-being. And so, you know, with that said, why do you think that teens run to social media instead of communicating with their parents?
Because like, you know, teens, they feel comfortable, I would say, because, you know, it's not really more so they have to, like, you know, have a fear of talking up to their parents. They could just go to social media and feel
Mm-hmm.
off, you know, but that's pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
they feel like, you know, nobody's judging them. Like, you know, when you just go on social media, you can post it, you could delete it. So it's really like a way people just, you know, use it to vent, I would say.
Okay, so they just basically use the vent. So if they just want to yell and scream, they just said, you know, screw the world, or I'm mad at so and so and so. And do they wait to see what kind of responses they get, or they just kind of plant that out there and then a few minutes later, after they've calmed down, they delete it?
Yeah, yeah, it'd be like sometimes people would put it up and then delete it because, like, you know, sometimes people would comment, but like
Mm-hmm.
then like you're not pretty much paying attention to it, so you just put it down or something. So
Okay. Are they looking for people to really agree with them or show them some level of sympathy when they post these things?
you could say that, yeah, you could say that. But people,
Okay.
it like now, people don't really see the signs. Like you get what I'm saying. You could post it, people just they just keep scrolling. They don't. People don't think much of it because it's a lot going on. So
Okay.
everybody going through something. So people just scrolling.
So they'll bypass someone who says, for example, I'm tired of all of what's happening in my life. I just want to kill myself. So you're saying that, oh, that's just another thing. Let me just scroll through.
Like, okay, people will reach out, but it's only so much, like, you know, reaching out, if you get what I'm saying. Like, people would just comment and stuff, but people not really reaching out. So it's really so, like, people got to really be in people's lives and really contact these people.
So you have to have a circle, a certain level of circle around you. And they may have to say, oh, wait a minute. I saw your post the other day. Are you thinking about killing yourself? Is that what you mean by people reaching out?
Yeah. But, like, not even that, not even addressing what person posts, but, like, just more so asking them how they feel and, like, how they been. Instead of, like, you know, addressing, like, what they post. Because, you know, they could feel uncomfortable by that.
Oh, okay. So don't address the post. Just say, hey, you all right?
Yeah,
Is that what
like,
you're saying?
you can address the post, but in different ways, you know, because people will post stuff and then, you know, they be like, I don't want nobody talking to me about it. I just wanted to post it and delete it. So, you know, there's ways to go about it.
Okay, there's ways to go about it. All right, so good. Have you ever experienced something like that before? Have you ever gone through perhaps one of your friends' posts and realized that they've said something that's a little bit questionable and you're like, hey, everything okay? Have you experienced that personally?
Yeah. But, you know, with like the group of people I have around me, we always, you know, we always talk. That's the biggest thing you have to do. Have a group
Okay.
around you that you could just talk and express yourself.
Oh,
And,
okay. And so it's good to have a supportive group that you can kind of bounce these things off of, share things with, because if not, you'll find yourself going to social media,
yeah.
venting, and then if no one responds to you, what kind of effect do you think that will have on teens if nobody catches it?
They start to feel alone. You know, they start to become like introverted. They start to, you know, not want to talk to anybody because they feel like people gonna judge them off how they look or, you know,
Hmm.
what they see on social media. So
Do you find that most girls are still comparing themselves to, or I don't know what kind of issues guys have, you know, like girls be in competition with each other. You know,
I,
we want to wear nice hair. We want to wear a nice outfit. We want to be small. If somebody claims, you know, talks about us being too fat, then we want to go on a diet just to post the right pictures. What kind of things do young men, such as your age, go through? And what would be more of the warning signs for you all?
I don't. I can't really speak, you know, for other people. You know,
Yeah.
I speak for how other people go about things and how they act. But it's like, you know, you can see it's like people being followers. You can see.
Okay.
So it's like you
You
can't.
could tell,
You can tell. You
like you could tell another guy is in that mode or being vulnerable. You can pick it up as a guy.
yeah, like you can.
Okay.
And even like sometimes you could be in a room and you could be in a room full of guys. Sometimes you can feel when like other guys try to compete with. Like you can feel all that. Like so, it's like you can't really do nothing about that.
Okay, so you can feel when they compete. That's the same thing with girls too. We can feel the energy of another girl and know when she's competing too as well. But because I'm a woman, I know if she goes on there and say all men are dogs, I know that she's just coming out of a bad relationship and someone, you know, has hurt her feelings. But when it comes to men, I don't know if they're as blunt as females are. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys just kind of silently go through?
I don't know. I guess we solidly just go through. Well, I can't say we. You know, me. I solidly just go through. You know, I always have
Silently.
self confidence. That's always what it is, though. Like so.
Okay, and I want to take a pause break because I noticed there are a lot of people on here. Now, if you know a way of venting or you can recognize certain signs based on your own experience or an experience that one of your friends have gone through, go ahead and put that in the comment. Go ahead and do that now because after we bring Lemire on, we're going to answer some questions that you guys may have. And then we'll all try to do our best to answer those questions, okay? I got one more question for you, Caron. Is there a difference between how a high school student handle mental health concern versus how college students handle mental health?
No, it's not a difference. You know, it's not a difference. Teens, because it's not a difference because teens on social media, college students on social media. You know, that's how people handle their problems. So it's not.
Mhm. Okay, so there's no difference because how you handle your mental issues and problems as a teens, are you saying rolls over into your college life?
I wouldn't say that because you know some people go off from high school and change, and you know they try to go away from what happened in high school. So
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say you know it rolls over. It depends on the person too. It depends on the person.
Okay, good. All right, so thank you so much, nephew. Stay on with me now. I'm gonna bring Lemire on because I wanted a female's perspective too, because she's I'll let her tell you where she's from. Lemire, if you could go ahead and log on. Hi, honey. How are you?
Miss Gardner, I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Do you see my handsome nephew over there?
I did see him. I did.
Don't ask me for his number later, okay? All right. Don't let everybody know. Don't ask me for his number. But anyway, so you heard what Caron was talking about in terms of mental health. Caron, if you could come back on, that'll be awesome. And you heard what he said about mental health. Now, what are the signs for high school students in terms of whether or not they're dealing with a serious issue?
I can't say the signs are the same for each person because it honestly depends on the person. Like for some, like I've had friends who hated long sleeves, but all of a sudden you see that their mood changes and they start wearing long sleeves. Or sometimes it's just they're very detached. It's like they have this I don't care attitude, like nothing matters. It just depends on the person. Some people just, you can't tell.
Now, you said they're wearing long sleeves. What's the reason for the long sleeves? Are they splitting their wrist?
It 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 sometimes it can be that. Like I've had people that I know start scratching themselves. I've had people start cutting, and I've had I've had a friend literally write down everything she thought was wrong with her on her arms, and then like, you know, every time she would get like a new insecurity, she just mark herself with it, and she would
Wow.
wear long sleeves to cover it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. So now, because you've noticed that, how did you handle that situation?
I don't necessarily like imposing myself on somebody else whenever they're going through something, because as somebody who, like, you know, has my ups and downs, I understand that you might not want to talk to it, but I always make sure that I'm very, like, you know, open with the person. I'm very welcoming. My attitude towards them is very positive. I try to stay encouraging and try to let them know that I'm always there if they need to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. I think you and Caron are saying the same things. Like you don't want to impose on the person's. Is that because you don't want to impose on their privacy, or you're respecting their privacy and you're waiting, Caron, until they actually want to talk about it themselves? Is that why you both are saying that?
Also, yeah, also because like, you know, most of the time they could like react out of anger and be like, you know, why you like bringing up my business, or you know, so like you gotta really approach it like let's see.
You got to be careful with approaching it, because in other words, you going in to assist, but they might flip it around on you and kind
Just
of pounce on,
emotion, just out of emotion, like how they feeling at that day. So
oh, at that moment. So you have to be really, really careful.
like
Now, mhm.
some, like just to like, you know, how you doing or how you been, like that, they may change their mood, you know, more,
Okay,
you know, trying to just address the problem.
okay. Now, with us as adults, do you think we're wrong when we say, "Hey, are you okay?" Is it wrong for us to keep prying, like keep asking teens and young people what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? Is that annoying, or should we just kind of do like what you guys do? Hi, everything okay?
You
Do you
have,
guys suggest that for us as adults?
I would say like just you have to create like like a safe haven of like comfortable conversation with like, you know, teens and like, you know, parents. Like you
Mm-hmm.
tell your teen like your child is comfortable to like come to me about anything. Like just being comfortable. That's all that like that matter.
You agree with that, Lemire? Creating that safe haven?
Uh-huh, but then at the same time, it's always, you can't just come out of nowhere, like, you know, and try to like get somebody to talk about it. You have to start off small. You have to build a foundation first before you can get them to actually, like, you know, trust you, because that's what it's all about, especially with, like, you know, teenagers. If, especially with me, if I don't trust you, like, I might joke around with you, but I'm not gonna like, you know, go into anything deeper. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it is. You just gotta find a way to establish some type of trust and build on it.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I appreciate this. The next question I wanted to ask is, this is so helpful to me, because my nephew knows I'm quick to say, "Hey, you're okay. If you need anything, let me know. Talk to me." You know, I'm quick to say that, and I was plopped down on their bed, right, Caron? I will pop down on their bed and say what's wrong, and I will not leave until they tell me what's wrong. But I'm learning because I don't want to overdo it. Have I ever overdid it, Caron, as an adult? Be truthful.
You haven't overdid it. You've been close, but you haven't overdid it.
Okay, because you know I will. And
Yeah.
I think for me, I think I asked too many questions, right, Caron? Is that what it is?
Mama the same way though.
Okay, well, so I feel all right then. So if she asks a lot of questions, I think we ask a lot of questions because we've been there before. You know, we've been, Lamir, how old are you?
I'm 16.
And Karan, you're 19, right?
20.
Oh, you're
I'm 20.
20? So Karan is 20, y'all. Wow. Okay. So he's 20. All right. So now I've been 14, I've been 16, I've been 20. So my version of asking questions is gonna be far from you guys' way of asking questions. So that's why we're doing this. We're trying to bridge the gap between adults teens and young men and young women so that we know how to approach teenagers who are dealing with any type of mental health issues. You know what I mean? So that we don't overdo it. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for chiming in. And I do see your questions. We're going to answer your questions. Do you guys want to answer these questions right now? So we're going to go in and please let us know where you're tuning in from. So if you're tuning in from Florida, please say Florida, wherever you're coming from, Tallahassee, if we got Houston on the line, if we have Florida on the line. So please go ahead and do that. I'm going to take the time to scroll up, and I want to get these questions. Keep these questions going, guys, so that they can answer these questions as best as they can. All right, so TVRY, I'm not sure how to say your name, but she said, it depends on your character, which can affect you in a path of self-growth. It can lead to good or bad terms depending on how you handle the situation. What does she mean by that?
It depends on the character, like your character.
Oh, like when you're going to address someone, it depends on your character?
I think.
Okay. All right. And then Miss Webb says, how do you approach a person who you know dealing with a mental issue, but they don't want to acknowledge it or address them without hurting them or damaging their ego? Ooh, that's a good question. So how do you approach a person? Is that kind of what you guys have been saying so far? Because she wants to know, how do you approach a person, but then you don't want to damage their ego? In other words, if I know Lumiere is not feeling, well about something, but we have a rapport. So I think it'll be different. The conversation will be a little bit different between Lumiere and I. And certainly it'll be different with me and you, Caron, because, we're family. But if somebody approaches you, how can they address mental ill? How can they address, she said, how can they acknowledge it or address it without hurting their feelings or damaging their ego? Who wants to answer that?
I can.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It depends on, like, the type of relationship you have with that person, for one. Like, say you're really close, them, like, you would be able to tell, you just be like, hey, like, I noticed today you're not your usual self. Like, do you want to talk about it, or would you prefer I kind of let you be for now? And whenever you're comfortable, you come to me,
Yeah.
Or if it's somebody you don't know, you go up to them like, hi, I noticed you look like you're not feeling like, like you're down. Is there something I could do to help you? Do you want to hug? You want to talk about it? You just want to talk about anything to, like, get your mind off of it? It just depends.
Okay. Caron, you want to add to that before we go to the next question?
I can agree with that, though. It just depends on the relationship. Like, that's all I can say. It depends on the relationship.
It does depend on the relationship. Isn't that right? Because sometimes I could be feeling bad, and it depends on who asks me. Because if someone who's nosy and just want to hear my business, and I know that they just going to gossip and go tell the next person, I can assure you I'm not going to tell you anything. Is that the same with teenagers and young adults? If you know someone is nosy, are you going to share things with them?
Absolutely
Probably not. Right, because you don't want your business all over the place. Okay. All right. So let's take another question. Somebody say adults gotta be nosy. That's Portia. I think that's our cousin Caron. She say adults have to be nosy. Well, we have to be nosy. You're right, especially with our children, with our nephews, with the people we care about. And because I'm in education, I'm not that nosy. But if I see that someone is going through something that I know I can pull them out of, I'm probably going to get into their business a little bit. What y'all think about that? Do adults have to be nosy, Caron? Does auntie have to be nosy? Does mom? Does dad? Do we have to be nosy?
I don't know. I guess that's like a self thing, as far as like nosy. I don't know.
What you think, Lemire? Do you teachers and mom and dads and aunts have to be nosy?
I wouldn't necessarily say they have to be, but them being nosy is a sign that they care. So I think it's always a little bit helpful, but there's it's like walking a very fine thin line. There's a point of overdoing it, and there's a point where it's just like, it's caring, and sometimes where it's just like, leave me alone.
Okay, just leave me alone. Not today. Right, exactly. Okay, someone says adults gotta ask questions, but be prepared for the child's answers as well. Also, be prepared to give the best advice too. Do you guys agree with that? Right? Be prepared to give the best advice. Like, in other words, don't say because I said so, or get over it, right? If you're going through something like depression, because depression is real, guys. Sometimes you don't even recognize whether you're depressed or not. If all of a sudden you just start eating and eating and eating and you're not even hungry, and something is on your mind and you just eating and eating, that's a form of depression. If you all of a sudden don't want to eat and you're just constantly losing weight because you can't get over the fact that your girlfriend left you or your boyfriend left you, or everybody seems to be doing better than you, any of those things can cause depression. Depression can be sadness all the time. You don't want to go anywhere. You just want to stay home. You don't want to be sociable. You want to just watch TV. All of that can be signs of depression. What do you guys think about that, Caron? What else can be signs of depression?
You basically said, like, good examples of, like,
Okay, Lumira, what you think?
I think the most important one and the one that's most overlooked is detachment and change in attitude. Like, that is one of the biggest signs, especially in people my age. And I've seen it where, like, somebody's like extremely happy one day, and then from there it's like they start to change little by little. And most people don't notice it. And if they do, they kind of tend to like tell them they're just like, doing it for attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's really overlooked on, and it's shamed in a way.
Okay, got it. All right, so thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate your honesty. If you have any more questions, just as we said, you can go ahead and place them down there at the bottom. Give me an alternative way, Caron, that teens can solve their problems besides, and this is for both of you, besides going to social media. Since that is the first place that they can vent, what is the alternative to that? Like, where else can they go to vent if their parents are not listening?
The right answer, people would say, like, you got resources like a therapist or like counselors and everything.
That's the right answer.
Yeah, that's the right.
The real answer is.
Real answer, you just have to have, like, a space of friends who like, who can understand you but also judge you at the same time, but not judge you in a way of, like, down talking you or anything, but just lifting you up. So that's
Okay.
family as well. And
Right.
also stay close to God.
Hey, that's the number one answer. That's what I was looking for. But everybody ain't there. Just like you said, those are the first-hand questions, right? Because if truth be told, everybody don't run to God, Caron. Everyone doesn't run to their friends. Sometimes they run to alcohol. Sometimes they run to drugs. Sometimes they run to sex. Am I right? Other people use those alternatives. They don't always do those things. And then sometimes it's too late. What do you guys think? Audience, go ahead and chime in on this. What else do teens run to? Like, what are some things that teens run to? And then what do you guys think is an alternative? Put your comments there in the bottom. What about you, Lamir? What do you think is an alternative that teens and young adults can use besides running to social media to vent?
I mean, I would tell you the most logical answer, which would be therapy. But then again, you have to understand, not even I myself, sometimes, like, I go through stuff, but I don't want to talk to my counselor because there's always that fear behind it. Like, if I tell this person, are they going to keep it between us, or are they, like, essentially going to go behind my back and tell somebody else and it's going to spread, or are they going to go tell my parents? And like, I think one of the ways that I use and I think people should use is like writing.
Mm-hmm.
I write everything that I feel out, and normally like it makes me feel better. Sometimes I'll burn it afterwards. That's always a
Yeah.
smart option.
Mm-hmm.
Write it and burn it. Kind of gets rid of that feeling permanently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, writing it and burning it definitely gets rid of that feeling. Because if you have your parents and they go through their your things and they find it, that could be embarrassing for you too as well. Especially if you don't have that open level of communication with your parents. Now, Caron, you have a pretty open relationship with both your mom, dad, all of us really. Has that helped you become who you are and avoid those, I would say, those very hard struggles?
Yeah, and also like having Michael around. I would
Yeah.
say around because like whenever like whenever something would be going on, me and Michael would be going through it together. It wouldn't be like just a one thing because we was always together. So
Mm-hmm. So you have a partner in crime. That's how it was with me and your mom, my sister Tan. She was the one that I would bounce things off of. And so, thankfully we grew up close in age, and thankfully, she was my BFF. I appreciated that. So what about you, Lemire? I know therapy may not be the thing, even coming to educators, because you can trust me, but Lemire, if you say, I want to commit suicide, or I'm stretching myself, I'm obligated as an educator to say, this is information, because I can't go home with you. So do you understand? Like, I can't go on with you. I can't go be where Caron is. He's all the way in Florida. I'm all the way in Houston. But if I hear something that's a little bit scary, because I want to have eyes on you, I think that's the reason why adults tell, your parents, or tell your guardian, or whoever's taking care of you at that time. And it's not like we're trying to let out the secrets. It's just that we want other people to have eyes on you as well. So you don't do therapy, but who do you vent to? Oh, you tear it up. You said writing, right, Lumira?
I do, and sometimes I have my brother. He's turning 20 this year.
Okay.
And I
like
remember like I was born after him. He's like a couple
Mm-hmm.
years older than me. We never used to talk, but recently he's become my rock. My brother,
Mm-hmm.
I tell him almost everything because I feel like he's the most non-African in my family, if you understand.
Okay.
We call him the American of the family. So
Okay.
he's big about mental health. He's big about like, understanding somebody and not judging them, and to be able to have that person who went through everything I'm going through in high school and can
Mm-hmm.
relate and doesn't judge you no matter what you tell them and keeps it very
Yeah.
confidential. It's such a relief. I go to him for everything.
Oh, that's good. All right. So I'm happy to hear that, because everyone needs someone to turn to, no matter who you are and what age you are. Everyone needs someone that they can really talk to, that they can trust, and that, this person is not going to judge them. They're going to give them the best advice. Everybody needs that. And me personally, I like talking to people I don't know, but there are some friends that I can tell things to. But I think even with that, I'm limited, because I don't like the feeling of telling someone something that I'm going through and them feeling sorry for me. That's not why I told you. I told you so that you can hear what I'm saying and offer some advice. Not, oh, I don't like that. So that's why I'm kind of limited in who I share certain things with. Is that the same case for teens and young adults too as well? Are you looking for a certain level of sympathy?
nah, like not like just like I said before, just like a little judgment that just push me. Like sympathy don't always be the best way, because you can't. People, not everybody gonna have sympathy for you all your whole life. So
That's good. What about you, Lemire?
I mean, personally, I don't never want sympathy because it's easy to confuse sympathy with pity. I just want I want understanding. I want
Me
somebody
too.
to be very understanding. I want somebody to relate and not just give you those pre-prepared answers like, oh, you be okay, you get over it. You hear that so much. I just want somebody who's gonna be like, you know, I've been through it, I get what you're doing, I did this and this and that. Or like, you know, if you ever need anything, I'm always here, you're gonna be okay. And like, they mean it. I don't want sympathy, I don't want pity. I want you to actually relate to me and give me advice based off of like, you know, your relationship.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We're going to go back to the questions. Someone said allowing forms of communication should be the key, whether it's emails, writing letters, or even texting. Everyone can always express themselves through words. That is so true, cousin. That's my cousin, our cousin, Portia. It is so true. Writing is definitely, you know, for me, it's been therapy for a long time. I put it in my books. I put it in my poems. You can text it. You can also text yourself, you know. We have memo. Do you guys have memo on your phones or no? Do you have that little memo notepad on your iPhones?
Yeah, I think no, notes.
Yeah, you can, or you could take notes and you could put it on that, and then you could also delete it as well. It's the same thing as writing on paper. If you don't have the paper available, you know, you can always express yourself. So that's a very good point. Someone else said, I myself try meditation when I feel life is getting heavy. Then I look for motivational messages. Yeah, I do that quite often. But is that the first thing that teens run to, though? Are you going to go to YouTube and look for a motivational message? Tell the truth. Is that what you do?
No.
Probably not, right?
No.
What's the first thing you do? Caron, if you're really upset by something or you're dealing with something, what's the first thing you do? Tell the truth.
I go work out. Like, I just started working out. You know, Kari, you know Kari. So he told me,
Yes,
like,
of course.
yeah, we
Is
got.
Kari on? Where's Kari?
Nah,
Are they watching?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not watching.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Kari. Hi, Bobby. How y'all doing? Hope y'all grades are good. All right. So, okay. Well, working out is good, right? Because you get to not only get in shape, but what does working out do for you, Caron?
You know, it let off all that because you really, like, as you pushing away, you really just, like, you know, you letting off everything. And
You letting off some things. Okay. What do you do, Lamir?
I mean, depends what it is. Like, if it's a person, like, obviously I'll go off, like, I'll get mad and then like I'll say a lot of stuff. But if it's just like a personal problem, I have a designated screaming pillow. I hope I don't sound crazy for saying this, but like, I have a pillow that I just scream into to kind of get everything out. And then when I've collected my thoughts, I write it down.
Exactly. Scream if you have to. I say that all the time. But see, I live by myself. My neighbors probably think I'm crazy. I go to screaming like, shut up. If it's too much noise in my head, and I'm not saying me shut up, but I'm saying shut up the noise and the confusion in my head. You know what I mean? I got a poem like that. Confusion in my head, a battle in my mind telling me da 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 da, and then I just go to screaming. But I'm not crazy. I just have to get it out. All right, let's see. Very artificial. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alicia. Workout relieves, somebody say, come on, workout relieves stress and anxiety. That is true. Anxiety is a huge factor too as well. If you experience anxiety a lot or you get nervous, I used to get nervous about taking tests, or I used to get nervous about if I have to speak in front of a large group of people until I get comfortable. There's a lot of things I used to get nervous about, but yeah, working out, writing, communicating with someone, texting, all of those are really good, you know, good therapy tools that we can use to help us with mental health. All right. Any other questions, guys? Send us some hearts. Aren't they doing such a good job? Aren't they doing such an amazing job? Send those hearts through, guys. Send those hearts through. Okay, so so the last question I have is there is first of all, thank y'all so much, Caron. I know you're busy, you're a college, you're a whole college student. Oh my God. So thank you for taking the time to come on and talk with your aunt and, you know, share with the people about mental health. Is there any other thing you want to share with the audience?
Like, this something like, you know, I had read, like, you know, just like being like on social media and everything, like for everybody out there, I would just say, you know, just do, like, you just do what you enjoy most, like, you know, whatever it is, like, just do it. It could be like taking out the trash, just do it. If you enjoy it, just do it. Like
Enjoy taking out that trash, right?
the little things, just enjoy it. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about you, Lamir?
Um, this whole
Any final
topic,
thoughts? Any
this
final
whole top,
thoughts?
this whole conversation, this whole topic kind of made me think about a line I wrote in one of my poems. Fear of rejection turns affection into aggression, and I think that's what most of us, like, you know, do. Like, we turn that fear of rejection, because ultimately, like, that's the cause of most of what we go through. It's that fear of not being accepted as who you are with all your problems and everything. Because when you got baggage, you always think, like, you know, what if this baggage is weighing me down and it affects how people view me? And so you keep it in, and you tend to, like, you know, get very emotional
Mm-hmm.
and emotionally distraught. And I feel like it's always mostly because of that fear of rejection. And so you just have to be really understanding and patient with not just, like, you know, teenagers, but also adults, because most adults go through a lot of stuff. They just don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's true. No one likes rejection, because rejection, oh my God, there's so the root of rejection. And then once that branches out, it leads to depression, it leads to sadness, it leads to loneliness, it leads to you just being secluded. No one likes to be rejected. I don't care who you are and what you're doing in life. No one likes to be rejected. That's something that you have to overcome. You overcome rejection with self, with security. You know, your sense of security. You have to say, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm handsome, I got this. Even if you have to wake up in the morning, there's my favorite song by Mary J. Blige. I don't know if y'all heard it, but if you did, send those hearts in. But good morning, gorgeous, right? With you, Caron, good morning, handsome. You looking debonair. Ooh, I like my hat. I like it. You got to begin to talk to yourself. And so if someone says, oh, I don't like your hair too short. Honey, I love my hair, and it's short, and I look good with it. So you build your own level of confidence by speaking to yourself, so that when the rejection does come, because rejection is going to happen in our lives one way or another. So you have to speak words of affirmation, words of confirmation into your life, just to kind of bounce some of that rejection off of you, because you will experience at some point in your life. So you have to know who you are. Caron, you already know. We tell you all the time. You are very smart, very intelligent, always inquisitive. You know we love you. Lamir, you're very intelligent. Someone just gave you a compliment about you being articulate. You always have been. I've taken a special liking to you because, you know, you're working on yourself. You're not afraid to say, you know, you're not afraid to talk about your mistakes. And Lamir, you're not afraid to change. And any person that you come in contact with in life who is not afraid of change, even when they've made their biggest mistakes, you are destined for greatness as a result. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Both
ma'am.
of you all are destined for greatness. Mwah, mwah. Yes? All right. So any other questions? All right. Oh, I love this. Me too, child. I love it too. I could talk to them all day. But Caron is a college student, and I know he probably got somewhere to go or something to do. Lumir got to get up in the morning, and hopefully we don't have to be there because,
No school
you know,
tomorrow, Miss
no,
Gardner. I did a whole happy
I
dance
gotta do my
too.
dance, child. Okay, well, I ain't gonna dance too much, but honey, yes, ma'am. So no school tomorrow. Did they say that?
They sent the email.
You know, I didn't check that email because, you know, once I leave, I'm gone. I ain't got no email or nothing. But they ain't got nothing to do with this moment in social media. Them people don't want to hear that, but I'm gone. You know, I'm gone. So, whoo, Karan, you know I'm gone.
Yeah.
So, if God been gone, I was gone. Listen, I leave at 2:50. I was gone since 2:00. I was there, but I was gone. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to leave you guys with this. If you enjoyed this If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and put that at the bottom. Thank you, Caron. Thank you, Lumir. Thank you so much. I like teens to open up to me. Yeah, you do, right? Because when they open up, they give us a whole nother perspective, because we're not teenagers anymore. We're in our 40s. And so being in these 40s, we don't understand what they're going through and what they're dealing with. So when they open up, it kind of gives us a whole new perspective. Tay, any suggestions on how, Lisha, I think are you just coming in? Caron said earlier, and he mentioned how it's very important not to be too aggressive. He said that it's very important to just present a question to them, like, how are you doing today? Even if you saw from if I understand this right, Caron, even if you see that they're saying they want to kill themselves, or they don't want to live anymore, or let me go drink a bottle of alcohol or whatever, our job as an adult is not to be too aggressive, but to start a conversation. Are you okay today? And then if they trust us enough, Caron was saying earlier, to create a secure environment, right? Or a safe environment. And so that's how he was saying that earlier. And both Lumir and Caron were kind of saying the same thing as far as how we approach teenagers and young adults whenever they're dealing with mental health issues. Did I get that right, Lumir and Caron?
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Okay, good. They're all saying thank you, guys. Look at those hearts coming in for you all. Absolutely amazing they did, my babies. Okay, so I want to give you guys this 24-hour mental health crisis hotline. You don't know the person on the other end. So if you feel like killing yourself, if you feel like splitting your wrist, I don't want you to get to that point, okay? And before you get to the point of splitting the wrist, and if you know me, you're on this line, call me and I will pray you through, because I believe in the power of prayer. God can do anything. He can destroy the yokes of the enemy at any given time. So I will pray you through. But if you don't know me, or you know Caron, or you know any of these people, I'm going to put the 1-800 number here in the chat. And it's 844. I'm going to put this here. It's 844-549-4266. And this is the number that I'm going to post. It's there at the bottom. And this is a 24-hour mental health crisis hotline that provides free services. And yes, I did say FREE, because a lot of people are charging, as a counselor and therapy these days. So write that number down, screenshot it. Thank you, Portia, so much for putting it down again. That number again is 1-8, or you could dial the 1-844-549-4266. And again, that's a 24-hour hotline. So if you're just tuning in, if you're a teen, if you are a college student, even if you're an adult and you want to call, or even if you want to suggest this particular number to someone that you feel is going through some type of mental illness, anxiety, depression, drugs, alcohol, teenage pregnancy, they want to give up, they're too young, they feel like they're having a baby, making decisions in their life, don't know how to deal with peer pressure, all of those things, they can call that 1-800 number, and it is a free mental health hotline. As a matter of fact, it's 24 hours a day. That means that if you wake up in a hot sweat and you're like, oh my God, and you're feeling this level of anxiety and you don't want to wake up your parents, you don't know who to call, get your cell phone, dial that number. They are there 24 hours a day so that you can have access to talk to someone. Listen, you are not alone. Okay, you are not alone. First of all, God is always with you, and all you have to do is reach out and pray for that strength. But physically, you can pick up that phone, dial that number, and they will be there to provide you free services. All right, guys, it is almost 7 o'clock over here in Houston, and it's almost 8 o'clock over there. So we're going to go ahead and close this out. Thank you so much. We will be back here again on next Tuesday. Tuesday and Thursdays, we are here We will have another guest on, and make sure that you pay attention to all of the flyers. We also have our YouTube channel. It's not hard to talk about it. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you log on. We have recorded other episodes, and you don't want to miss the STD and STI conversations. That's a very good one too as well. And so we thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for all the love. Thank you, Caron. I'm going to call you after this ends. Say bye to the people, y'all. Thank you, Lemire. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a nice
Bye,
day.
everybody. Amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. Thank you for your support. Be sure to share this episode with the ones you love. Don't be too aggressive as adults. Again, just take your time with it and answer a simple question such as, how are you doing today? And you never know where that particular question can lead to. I love you too, Portia. Thank you for being so supportive. Love my family. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Bye, guys. Have an amazing day.